Hi, I'm Angie Torani, advanced certified BodyTalk practitioner, and I would like to invite you for today's group healing session on burnout recovery. Sit comfortable, close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths in and out to get yourself centered and anchored in this moment. Take your focus to top of your head and see this wave of relaxation that's bathing you all the way from the head, relaxing your feet, neck, chest, abdomen, back. And letting go of all the stress through your toes. Scan your body for any discomforts, aches and pains. Locate them if there's any discomfort, any pain. Would you put it on the scale 0 to 5? Where would you put your energy levels today on the scale 0 to 5? Let's scan your mental health. How are you doing emotionally? Is there a particular stressor, worry, fear, emotion that's prominent to you? Put it on the scale 0 to 5. After we finish the session, we can check how we are doing. The session is burnout recovery. We'll dive in and see what shows up to support you with burnout recovery. In the selective session, I'm scanning the energetic blueprint. What I'm picking up is fear, anxiety, overwhelm. Patches of these mixed emotions of fear, anxiety, and overwhelm through the spinal cord and specifically around the abdomen. The body can hold the story of stress in different parts of our body till it gets right opportunity to release it. Many a times we are in a survival mode, coping with the situation. My body is holding on to all the stress. With this treatment BodyTalk system, we are working with the body's innate intelligence to identify blockages that could be stored, accumulated, imprinted. So, firstly, we are working on addressing this treatment called removing the secondary matrix, which is built up of emotions, specifically fear, anxiety, and overwhelm. From gut, abdomen. So I'm doing this particular treatment called C3, which is a circulation plugin, blood, lymph node, electrons, protons, energetic optimization. Then running a defrag, the body can scatter emotions into different connective tissue. And with the defrag, it's like putting it all together so we can access it. Sorting out all those emotional files. And then we are running a treatment called active memory, which means addressing all the memories that our body is holding on and the active emotional charges with it. So passive memory is great. You remember your past without any emotions or as a pleasant memory. Active memory is where the situations have passed, but the emotion chart is still quite active and raw. With this treatment called active memory, we are working with this theme of fear, anxiety, and overwhelm. It looks like we are going back in time to 5 to 7 years. Setting up this treatment on your prefrontal cortex, your computing power, your nervous system, like your computer looking for old files, memory data stored with active emotions of fear, anxiety, and overwhelm. This specific treatment, active memory, we are tuning into surfacing all those emotions. So disassociating it from the connective tissue, synthesizing it, and releasing it. Focus on anything that comes to your mind past 5 to 7 years. Fear, anxiety, or any incidents, relationships, situations. Let it surface when you're focusing on that story, those emotions. We are working on this treatment, defrag. So put it all together and then run an active memory treatment. To space all those emotional charges, disassociate, synthesize, and release. We are looking at releasing all those residual emotions through the diaphragm and through the intestines. It's like setting up a computing program on your prefrontal cortex with this treatment called C3, circulation, defrag, and then fragmenting any residual blocks. Reevaluation. Reintegration into the nervous system. We are looking at optimizing and releasing all those emotional charges around abdomen, accumulated stuff from the past. We are running this treatment at 2 layers, Rajas, Tattva. As I'm working on releasing all these emotions, I'm picking up another underlying layer. And this layer is grief. We're looking at optimizing lung scent alone, which is yin and yang of the metal element. To process the underlying layer of grief, dispersing, detaching the past. We are working on the central medial part of thalami. So thalamus is in the center of the brain, and there's a tiny part called central medial. The consciousness of this center of the brain is dharmic living, righteous living, being in service of your higher self, as well as processing grief, which means being able to detach from the past moment, past situation, and anchoring you into the present moment. So we are running a program, optimization of central medial part of thalamus. Specifically on the right side, we are working on the right hemisphere. And we are working on optimizing this center of the brain with this consciousness of being in service of your higher self, which means detaching and letting go of stuff that's not serving you anymore. Anchoring yourself into the present moment. Now we are working on another layer of the mind. We are working on rewiring the nervous system from horizontal mind to vertical mind. Horizontal mind is where the mind is split into past, present, and future, carrying the emotional charges and impressions of the past, and worry and anxiety and scanning the future with stress. So we're working on balancing 3 brain, head, heart, and gut. Realigning and restoring the communication between these 3 centers of the brain. It's optimizing the heart brain, which feels quite blocked. So it looks like the head brain is prominent, taking over all the load, lot of thinking, analyzing, processing information, and getting into repetitive loops of overthinking and anxiety. The communication from the second brain, which is the heart brain, is limited and blocked emotionally. So we are addressing relationship blockages on the heart center. So heart center is all about self-love, your knowing wisdom, and being able to tap into your intuitive right brain. And heart center is blocked with past stresses. So the words that are coming up is betrayal, sense of rejection in relationships. So I want you to focus on anything that comes to your mind about any particular relationship that has been weighing heavy on you. It could be relationship with your parent, family, spouse, partner. It could be the way you relate to your work, your finances, a particular relationship. That takes you peace of mind. So I want you to just focus on whatever this relationship is for you. Now, we are working on this particular treatment called disentanglement. On this particular relationship, which in simple words means putting things into right perspective, neutralizing all the fear, anxiety, overwhelm, past issues, past belief systems, perceptions, memory of past trauma in this particular relationship. Neutralizing all that with the frequency of agape love. Which is non-judgmental and conditional love and acceptance. Which is also the consciousness of feeling whole and complete. The disentanglement is for releasing all the past emotional charges and being able to deal with the situation, that particular relationship, in a practical way. Being able to see it from a fresh perspective. Neutralizing all the limiting belief systems that are blocking that particular relationship. Optimizing the broad chakra and third eye, with this consciousness of clairvoyance, being able to see the bigger picture. The consciousness of a seer, observer. It's like zooming out of the story, whatever the challenges, conflicts, stresses of the life. Zooming out of that movie and being able to witness as a neutral observer. Non-biased, non-judgmental. Just witnessing and accepting what is to neutralize all the emotional charges. Identification with those stresses, roles, relationships, responsibilities. Neutralizing those identifications. Opening up the heart energy, optimizing the communication between the heart and the brain. optimizing and opening up the channels from the heart brain, the vagus nerve communication from the heart to the brain to neutralize that excessive thinking, worrying. This is also for that vertical mind, shifting from that horizontal mind, which is split into past, present, and future, anchoring you into the vertical mind, which is optimizing those neural pathways. So you're anchored into the present moment, which is the consciousness of the heart, being here in this moment, dealing with life in a practical way, dissolving all the weights of the past, emotional charges, and fear or anxiety of future. So optimizing this heart and brain coherence or supporting you to be in this state of flow. Optimizing the gut brain, which is also called enteric brain. This is all about discernment. Discernment, your gut instincts, your decision making. We're looking at running a defrag on the filters. These are all the emotional charges, disappointments, regrets, self-doubt, issues around self-worthiness, all the limiting belief systems that have been dampening the fire of the solar plex chakra. So here we are working on optimizing around self-worthiness, neutralizing all the limiting belief systems on your self-worthiness, self-confidence, self-respect. The belief systems that could have been imprinted right from childhood, inherited and set through ancestors, imprinted through the environment, family, society, culture. So we're running some programs to neutralize all those limiting belief systems. Then optimizing your solar plex chakra. Running a parallel session, optimizing your gut microbiome, which dictates your personality. If you're fearful, hypersensitive to stress versus resilient to stress, it's your gut profile, gut microbiome profile. They're looking at optimizing the gut microbiome that activate 90% of serotonin and GABA, which are mood stabilizing hormones. We are setting up torsion fields to 0-point field to bring in the perfect microbiome profile, specifically the microbiome that have been missing and depleted, and reintegrating into your gut lining, as well as balancing the pH level. This is to optimize the filters of the gut brain and the consciousness of the gut brain discernment, being able to discern and enhance your decisions, your gut instincts. Now we are looking at optimizing and reconnecting these three brains This is to shift the overload from the head brain, constant repetitive thinking, worrying, analyzing, where all the decisions are coming from your gut instincts and discernment and the knowing and wisdom of the heart, to make this perfect communication of your mind, to get you more centered, grounded, being present in the moment. Now we are working on adrenal fatigue, high cortisol levels, the nervous system that has been wired into fight, flight, survival mode, and post-traumatic stress syndrome, which means even though the stressor has finished, or maybe everything is okay in your life in this moment, the nervous system hasn't revived and rewired itself from the past stressors. So we are looking at optimizing the neural pathways, specifically amygdala complex, which is the center of the brain, which is all about survival mode. The loops that are short-circuiting into fear and survival mode, and thus overproducing high cortisol levels. So we're looking at rewiring the neural pathways between amygdala complex and hypothalamus, which is the emotional center of the brain. We are looking at anchoring all the 5 senses to the intuition process. 5 senses are our windows to world, how we perceive life. And many a times a lot of trauma is imprinted on our 5 senses. With this particular treatment, anchoring it to the intuition process is like peeling off those layers of stickiness that's on your windows of perception. So you're able to see things for what they are. This is to support the amygdala complex that's constantly firing fight, flight, survival mode, mostly because of the past memories that are imprinted. So optimizing the 5 senses, optimizing the neural pathways between the amygdala complex, prefrontal cortex, septal area of the brain, which means instead of being imprinted by the past traumas and stresses, it can scan the environment. Prefrontal cortex is for being able to see things for what they are in the moment. Septal area of the brain is related to peace and harmony, bliss. So we are addressing this post-traumatic stress syndrome, which means the neural pathways that have become rigid and short-circuiting because they have been used so frequently. So shifting the perception of feeling safe so the nervous system can calm down. So rewiring the nervous system out of the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight, flight, survival mode, into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is about relaxation, repair, and regeneration. We are working on adrenal fatigue now. Specifically the right adrenal that feels completely depleted with overstimulus of production of cortisol levels. So we are working with this treatment, which is the acupuncture point lower dantian point. So we're working through acupuncture points, bladder 23, governing vessel 4, conception vessel 6, and running a repair work for this adrenal exhaustion, which contributes to physical fatigue. It can express itself into various different symptoms: weight gain, inflammation, feeling exhausted. So we are looking at optimizing this lower dantian point and optimizing the kidney meridian, which controls the nervous system. So optimizing the yuan qi, which is the qi that flows through the kidney meridian, and this is the qi that it comes from our inherited ancestral information. So we are born with this bank of ancestral qi. Aging is synonymous to how quickly this yuan qi of the kidney is depleted. So we are running a rehab treatment on the yuan qi to restore the yuan qi. Once we have done all that background of releasing all that stress, so calming the nervous system, through this water element, kidney and bladder, yin and yang of the water element. Now we are focusing on hydration with easy water. We are 70 to 80% made up of water molecules. And that's where we store emotional charges. So with all this work, we are looking at synthesizing, neutralizing all those emotional charges. Which is H3O2, structured water. So once all those emotional blocks are released, the cells are able to absorb water. So we are focusing on cellular hydration for the nervous system through the cerebrospinal fluid, optimizing the interstitial fluid and the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is related to the consciousness of self-worth. Working on the lymphatic system through hydration would also support immune system, because most of our immune cells live in the lymph nodes. Clearing all that stress and survival mode in the post-traumatic stress syndrome, which constantly signals the body into life is under threat, need high cortisol levels. Once all that programming is switched off, this will support with reviving the immune system out of the inflammatory mode, where immune system sees everything as a threat and is constantly producing high inflammation. It's in constant attack mode. So we're looking at optimizing the immune system. And the epigenetic markers switched on through all the stress and heightened inflammatory hormone production. So we are working with natural killer cells and T killer cells. And we are looking at running a circulation to clear these epigenetic markers. These are 4 metallic markers at the epigenetic level. Of 432 hertz to harmonize the nervous system, to support you with good quality of sleep. Now we are working on integrating this session. I want you to take a few deep breaths. And if you like, you can tap your head, heart, and gut. And now, once you've worked on programming this treatment, your body would be processing the treatment, how computer downloads a program. The treatment will go on for next couple of days. Now scan how you're feeling in this moment. Scan your body if there's still that pain, ache, discomfort that you noticed at the start of the session. Or it has disappeared. Put it on the scale 0 to 5. Scan your energy levels and your mental health, or any prominent emotions or stress on the scale of 0 to 5, and see if anything has shifted for you. And reevaluate all these parameters 1 week after the session, after you've listened to the session. See what shifts you notice. I'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you.